Hey guys, this is Nate from RunDreamAchieve.com. Today's video we're going to be talking about heart rate training mistakes, and it's very easy to make mistakes with heart rate monitors. And what I want you guys to really keep in mind in regards to training with heart rate monitors, because a lot of the training programs as well as the running courses that I have on RunDreamAchieve.com are all based on heart rate monitor training, and you don't want to get attached to these things so much that you lose sight of your own effort. You know, you definitely want to, heart rate monitors are definitely a key to running success, because you're not running too fast on days that you need to be running easy, and you can oftentimes gauge your effort based on the way you feel, and gauging your effort based off of heart rate is also very key in order to make it to the next level in your training and in your racing. I never really started using heart rate monitors until 1995, when I started being coached by Jack Hazen at Malone University. And ever since, pretty much since 1995 until the present day, I've been very focused on heart rate monitor training, and I've been able to set big personal bests by using heart rate monitors. So, but in terms of heart rate monitor training mistakes that we make, is the fact that it's very difficult to know exactly what your maximum heart rate is. Really, the best way to find out what your maximum heart rate is to get a VO2 max test. And as you see on the screen here, I was tested at the USA Olympic Training Center in Colorado Springs when I was with the Army World Class Athlete Program. And it was an extremely difficult test, to say the least. They basically run you for about 3-minute increments, and they speed up the treadmill, and then after each 3 minutes, they prick your finger so you know what your blood lactate level is at that particular intensity. And what they do is they slowly increase the incline of the treadmill, so you're running faster with more effort. And then after each increment, they prick your finger until they run you basically to exhaustion, and then they prick your finger again to find out where your blood lactate level is at that particular point. But it's really, as we age too, you know, that we hear about this concept of subtracting your age from 220, and that basically gives you your maximum heart rate. There are some athletes that have a very difficult time getting up to like 160 beats per minute, as opposed to some other athletes that may be able to run for long periods of time or short periods of time at like 170 or above. So it's very difficult at times to kind of gauge how fast you need to be running, and a lot of that comes from not really knowing what your maximum heart rate is. You need to go off of feel. You know, if you can run for about 30 to 40 minutes without much of without too much going into too much oxygen debt, then you know you have a base estimate of that you're running around your lactate threshold. And anaerobic threshold is the point where we start to build up lactic acid in the bloodstream. So your anaerobic threshold is you're going to be running anywhere from around 85 to 90% of your maximum heart rate. So a lot of times athletes, in terms of heart rate monitor training mistakes that we make, is if we're not wearing a heart rate monitor, then it's kind of difficult. A lot of times we think we're running at the right effort, and we think we're running fast enough, but really we're not. We're still running too aerobically. And you want to stress the anaerobic systems of the body so that you can sustain pace for longer periods of time in the race, and you can hold that pace for the entire duration of your race. A lot of times athletes, we're not training anaerobically enough, and we're not doing that. Like I said, that in past videos, you want to do one VO2 max workout per week, and that's running at closer to your maximum heart rate. So we can only spend anywhere from a few seconds to a few minutes running at that particular intensity. Examples of this would be like 5 to 6 1-mile repetitions on the track, or 8 to 10 1-kilometer repetitions on the track. You're not going to be able to sustain that type of effort for very long. You know, a couple minutes to a few minutes max. And then we obviously need time to stop, relax, get that heart rate back to around 120, and then once it's down to 120 again, then we can attack again and go toward the next repetition. But heart rate monitor training Again, you don't want to get so caught up in like, I have to wear a heart rate monitor every single day in order to get the best results. The key thing is to use these training tools as a means to start to learn how fast you need to be running, and get a better gauge of your particular physiological capabilities as an athlete. Another training mistake that we make with heart rate monitors is when you're running downhill, your heart rate drops. So you don't need to be speeding up and going faster because you see your heart rate going down when you're running down a hill. You want to, again, focus on feel, focus on the effort. If you're running down a hill and your heart rate starts dropping, do not start going in an all-out sprint because you say, okay, well, I need to be at like 165 to be running at my lactate threshold, but my heart rate's only showing 140 right now, and I'm running down this hill and I feel like I'm sprinting, but it's still like 140. Don't worry about that. Again, you want to focus on the effort. If you're in a near-out sprint going down a hill, focus on the effort, don't focus on the heart rate. That's an easy mistake that a lot of athletes make, and I made it too earlier on in my career when I was just getting started with heart rate monitor training. I felt like, well, my heart rate's too low, I need to speed up. No, focus on the effort. And again, keep in mind when it's hot out, you have to your heart rate is going to be higher, and because you're sweating more, so you don't need to speed up on hotter days. You need to focus on the effort most importantly, because again, heart rate is going to vary day to day, and it's going to vary depending on the age of the athlete as well. I mean, if you're in your 50s, your maximum heart rate may be like 145 or 1 to 160, whereas if you're in your 20s, it might be 190 to 200 plus. So it's going to vary from athlete to athlete. All my training programs and the running courses that are on RunDreamAchieve.com are based around these particular heart rate zones. 130 to 150 is easy. Between 155 and 160 is moderate. Anaerobic threshold is going to be, again, anywhere from 85 to 90% of your maximum heart rate. So it's going to vary from athlete to athlete, but around 165 to 172 beats per minute would be anaerobic threshold effort. So anything really above 172 or higher, you're going more toward your VO2 max. And again, it's very difficult to track down exactly what your maximum heart rate is unless you get a VO2 max test. And those can be expensive. I was with the Army WCAP program, so I was able to go over to the USA Olympic Training Center and get tested by Dr. Randy Wilbur, who's one of the most respected, world-renowned exercise physiologists in the world. So I was very fortunate to have that opportunity to be trained and be tested by that particular professional. Randy is about the best in the business when it comes to exercise physiology. So heart rate monitor training, proper heart rate monitor training when you're focusing on extending the duration of your long runs, as well as extending the duration of your tempo runs or your anaerobic threshold runs, teaches the body to keep lactic acid at low amounts at race efforts. This doesn't happen overnight. It happens over several weeks and several months where you teach your body to sustain that faster effort. And again, we race at our lactate threshold, so it's very important to train and extend the amount of time you're training at your tempo effort. And a lot of times the reason why athletes aren't able to sustain the pace, they're able to run a 10K or run a half marathon or a marathon for a portion of the race, but they have problems and they start falling off on pace in the latter stages of the race, is they just simply have not spent adequate time training anaerobically enough for a long enough period of time, as well as done those critical VO2 max workouts where we're really focusing on the speed, and again, spending only a few seconds to a few minutes training at heart rates that are above 175 to closer to 200 beats per minute. And again, this is going to vary from athlete to athlete. Another mistake a lot of athletes make is they're not wetting the strap, the heart rate monitor strap. A lot of times heart rate monitors, depending on the models of the heart rate monitor, the calculations are inaccurate at times as well. So always wet the strap that goes around your chest prior to starting your run. And that way the calculations will become much more efficient, as opposed to you don't want to start a run and not have your heart rate showing on your watch. So again, that's a common mistake a lot of athletes do, is they don't wet the strap around their waist first. That way, and start running. They start running prior to seeing that the heart rate is actually being monitored on their watch. Found also that a lot of wrist heart rate monitors are a lot less accurate as compared to the strap. So again, with new technologies, this will probably improve over time, but that's just something to keep in mind. Last reason why, the last heart rate monitor training mistake that we make is we're running too fast on our easy days. And a big way to effectively improve that is, again, wearing a heart rate monitor, keeping your heart rate between 130 to 150 beats per minute. If you're younger, if you're older, it might be between 120 and 130 beats per minute. So again, heart rate monitor training is important. It will get you results because it teaches you to focus on the effort and the heart rate that you need to be running at a particular effort for a long period of time, rather than focusing on splits, kilometer splits, mile splits. But one thing I want you guys to definitely keep in mind is, remember that if you're running downhill, your heart rate's going to drop. So don't speed up when you're going down a hill. Just maintain the effort. If you're on the flat, again, heart rate's going to vary too. If you've done, say, a track workout on, say, a Monday, it's very common to have be running at a heart rate that maybe prior to doing that hard effort, you'd be running much faster at that particular effort. But after a hard workout, it's very common that your pace is going to be much slower, because your body needs time to recover from those hard anaerobic efforts that we do on the track or on the roads. So don't get bent out of shape about heart rate on your easy days, especially after a hard workout, because your body, again, needs around 48 hours to recover and to achieve that super compensation effect that occurs after we do these hard VO2 max workouts, like 12 to 16 times 200 meter repetitions on the track, or 6 by 1 mile on the track, or 3 by 2 mile repetitions on the track. Again, there's a physiological effect and a severe drop in fitness immediately after a workout, but it's super compensation. It's after that you allow your body time to recover. Your body's going to bounce back, and you're going to get a huge physiological boost from that hard effort, but you need time to relax and allow yourself time to recover from those hard workouts. So don't get bent out of shape, and again, don't get caught up in this heart rate monitor philosophy. Again, they're very important, but it's not a be-all end-all of, like, I need to wear a heart rate monitor every single day in order to get better results. You don't. Focus again on feel, focus again on your effort, but heart rate monitors will get you results. They will teach you to run slow enough on your recovery days, and if you're doing a tempo run, it's very helpful to wear a heart rate monitor, because you're focusing on the effort, again, the heart rate that you need to be focusing on during that tempo run, rather than worrying about what splits am I hitting. The splits are going to take care of themselves as you get fitter and fitter. So hope this video has been helpful for you guys in terms of heart rate monitor training mistakes not to make. And if you guys have any specific questions, anything else I can help you guys out with, leave me a comment below this video. I'll leave some resources as well, as I do with all my videos. And if you're brand new to the channel, hit the bell icon, hit the subscribe button, so when I make a new video, you'll be notified of it. And again, I wish you guys the best with your heart rate monitor training success. They are absolutely a must if you want to take your training to the next level. It's very important to train smart, work smarter rather than harder. Again, the hardest working athletes don't always get the results, but the smartest athletes do. So learn from the mistakes that other athletes are making, and don't continue to replicate what they're doing. Focus on what the best athletes do, which the best athletes in the world do focus on heart rate monitor training. So don't take this lightly, but also don't get so caught up in heart rate monitor training, like, again, that you need to be wearing these every day, because you don't. So I hope you guys have a great week of training, and I'll talk to you guys all in the next video.